Martial arts novel.
The Jade Tempest, Chapter 3, The Hidden Legacy. The winds howled through the narrow mountain pass as Liang Feng made his way through the dense forest. The events of Qinghe village were still fresh in his mind. The smoke, the flames, the sound of his father's dying words. Each step he took was filled with the heavy burden of his mission, to avenge his village and restore the Jade Tempest Clan to its former glory. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear: he needed to become stronger. After leaving the ruins of his home, Liang Feng had traveled for days, driven by a vague but persistent sense of purpose. His father had once spoken of a hidden sanctuary, a place known only to the most trusted members of the Jade Tempest Clan. It was said to hold ancient scrolls and relics, treasures that contained the knowledge and power of his ancestors. Liang Feng knew that if he was to stand any chance against the Crimson Flame sect, he needed to find this sanctuary and unlock the secrets it held. The journey was treacherous. The mountain paths were steep and winding, with loose rocks that threatened to send him tumbling into the abyss below. The air grew colder as he ascended, and the once vibrant trees became sparse and gnarled, their branches twisted by the harsh winds. Yet despite the physical challenges, Liang Feng pressed on, his resolve unshaken. On the third day of his journey, as the sun began to set behind the jagged peaks, Liang Feng came across an ancient stone gate hidden among the cliffs. The gate was weathered by time, its carvings faded and covered in moss, but Liang Feng recognized the symbols immediately. They were the sigils of the Jade Tempest Clan, intricately etched into the stone in patterns resembling swirling winds. His heart raced as he approached the gate, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and trepidation. "This must be the place," Liang Feng muttered to himself, tracing his fingers over the carvings. The gate felt cold under his touch, but there was a faint warmth that seemed to pulse from within, as if the very stone was alive with the remnants of ancient power. With a deep breath, Liang Feng pushed against the gate. It groaned in protest, the sound echoing through the canyon, but it slowly began to creak open, revealing a dark passageway that led deep into the mountain. Without hesitation, Liang Feng stepped inside, the air around him growing cooler and more humid as he descended. The passage was long and winding, lit only by the occasional shaft of light that pierced through cracks in the stone above. The walls were lined with ancient murals, depicting scenes of warriors clad in flowing robes, wielding the very winds themselves in battle. The artistry was exquisite, capturing the fluidity and grace of the Jade Tempest Clan's techniques. Liang Feng paused occasionally to study the murals, hoping to glean some insight from the images, but the meanings were elusive, like the wind itself. Finally, after what felt like hours of walking, the passage opened into a vast underground chamber. The ceiling was high and vaulted, disappearing into shadows, and the walls were lined with towering stone pillars, each one adorned with intricate carvings and inlaid with precious stones that glittered in the dim light. At the center of the chamber stood a large stone altar, upon which rested a single scroll, tied with a faded silk ribbon. Liang Feng approached the altar cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. The air in the chamber was thick with the weight of centuries, and he could feel the presence of his ancestors watching over him. This was the legacy of the Jade Tempest Clan, preserved through generations, waiting for the day when it would be needed once more. With trembling hands, Liang Feng reached out and untied the ribbon, slowly unrolling the scroll. The parchment was old and brittle, but the characters written upon it were clear and precise, each stroke infused with a sense of purpose and power. The scroll contained instructions for a series of martial arts techniques, wind-based techniques that Liang Feng had never seen before, far more advanced than anything he had learned from his father. As he read through the scroll, Liang Feng felt a connection to the words, as if they were speaking directly to his soul. The techniques described were not merely physical movements, but expressions of inner strength and harmony with the natural world. To master them would require not only skill, but also an understanding of the balance between strength and serenity, power and restraint. Among the techniques listed was one that caught his eye, the Tempest Dragon Strike, Liang Feng Bao Ji, a devastating attack that combined the force of a tornado with the precision of a dragon's strike. The description was brief but powerful, hinting at the immense energy required to execute such a move. Liang Feng knew instinctively that this technique would be crucial in his battle against the Crimson Flam,